Baris Arduc's decision that changed everything. She stood in front of the cameras, diamond ring gleaming under the studio lights, while millions watched what they thought was the happiest moment of her life. But somewhere across town, he was packing his bags, deleting photos, and making a choice that would shatter not just one heart, but an entire fanbase that had believed in their love story for years. What Baris Arduc did next didn't just end a relationship. It exposed secrets, lies, and a truth so devastating that even his closest friends couldn't defend him. This isn't just another celebrity breakup. This is about how one decision can unravel everything you thought you knew about someone. And the most disturbing part? The signs were there all along. Baris Arduc wasn't always the name that dominated Turkish entertainment headlines. Before the scandal, before the heartbreak, before the decision that would define his career and personal life, he was just another talented actor trying to make it in one of the world's most competitive television industries. Born in Switzerland, but raised with deep Turkish roots, Baris had that rare combination of European charm and Mediterranean intensity that made casting directors take notice. His breakout role came when he was cast in a series that would change everything, not just professionally, but personally in ways no one could have predicted. The show was massive. The kind of cultural phenomenon that transcends television and becomes part of everyday conversation. People quoted lines at dinner tables. Couples recreated scenes for their wedding videos. And at the center of it all was Baris, playing a character so beloved that fans struggled to separate the actor from the role. But it wasn't just his acting that had people obsessed. It was her, his co-star. The chemistry was undeniable, electric, the kind you can't fake no matter how good the script is. Viewers shipped them hard, creating fan pages, editing videos, writing fantasy scenarios about their real-life romance. And then it happened. The rumors started becoming reality. Baris and his co-star were spotted together off-set. Casual at first. Coffee between takes. Dinners that went late into the night. Social media detectives went into overdrive, analyzing every Instagram story, every like, every comment. The actors played coy, neither confirming nor denying, which only made the frenzy worse. In the world of celebrity relationships, silence is gasoline on a fire. When they finally went public, the internet nearly broke. Fans celebrated like their own friends had gotten together. Magazine covers. Exclusive interviews. Brand deals that capitalized on their couple image. They were Turkey's golden pair, the real-life embodiment of the fairy tale romance everyone wanted to believe in. She glowed in every photo. He seemed protective, attentive, perfect. Their relationship became part of their brand, something that elevated both their careers to stratospheric levels. But here's where the story takes its first dark turn. Behind the perfectly curated Instagram posts and the red carpet appearances, something was fracturing. Friends close to the couple later admitted they noticed changes. Baris became distant. Not just from her, but from everyone. He stopped showing up to group dinings. His responses to texts became shorter, colder. When confronted, he blamed it on work stress, on the pressure of fame, on needing space to focus on his craft. Everyone bought it because, well, he was Baris Arduc, the guy who seemed to have it all together. She noticed too, of course. How could she not? The man who once surprised her with flowers on random Tuesdays now forgot important dates. The late-night conversations that used to stretch until dawn were replaced by silence and separate bedrooms. But she did what so many people in high-profile relationships do. She smiled through it, posted the happy photos, defended him when friends expressed concern, convinced herself that every couple goes through rough patches, that fame makes everything harder, that love means fighting through the difficult seasons. What she didn't know, what none of the millions of fans knew, was that Baris had already made his decision. Not the decision to work on things. Not the decision to communicate better or seek help or fight for what they had built. The decision to leave. To walk away. To start over with someone new. The someone new is where this story gets complicated and, frankly, ugly. Her name started appearing in blind items on gossip sites. An actress, younger, rising in popularity, who had recently worked with Baris on a project. The rumors were dismissed at first. Baris and his girlfriend were solid, everyone said. He would never. She was just a co-star. Professional colleagues. Nothing more. Except it was more. Much more. And the way it came out was so cruel, so public, that even people who didn't follow celebrity news felt the shockwaves. It was a normal Thursday when the photos dropped. Baris, in a car with her. The new actress. His hand on her leg. Her head on his shoulder. The kind of intimate, unguarded moment that can't be explained away as friendship or professional collaboration. The photographer who captured it later said they looked like a couple who had been together for months, comfortable and familiar in a way that only comes with time. The timeline started becoming clear, and it was devastating. While his girlfriend had been doing interviews about their future together, about maybe getting married, about building a life, Baris had been building something else entirely. With someone else. The overlapping dates were undeniable. This wasn't a rebound. This wasn't moving on after a breakup. This was a full betrayal, a double life that he had somehow managed to keep hidden until he couldn't anymore. When the story broke, Baris went silent. No statement. No apology. No explanation. Just radio silence while the internet erupted in a way that felt almost biblical in its fury. His girlfriend, the woman who had loved him publicly and privately, was left to deal with the aftermath alone. She deleted photos, changed her social media bio, posted a cryptic quote about strength and betrayal that sent fans into a protective frenzy. But here's what made people even angrier. The decision Baris made wasn't just about leaving one woman for another. It was calculated. Strategic even. Industry insiders started talking, sharing details that painted a picture of a man who had made a cold, career-focused choice disguised as a romantic one. The new actress was rising fast, attached to projects that would elevate anyone associated with her. Being her boyfriend meant access, opportunities, a fresh narrative that could revitalize a career that some felt had plateaued. His ex-girlfriend, on the other hand, had been vocal about wanting to step back from the spotlight. She talked in interviews about maybe focusing on smaller projects, about prioritizing personal life over fame, about the exhaustion of living under constant scrutiny. For someone like Baris, who thrived on visibility and career momentum, this created a fundamental incompatibility that he apparently decided wasn't worth working through. The public backlash was immediate and severe. Brands dropped him. A project he was attached to quietly replaced him with another actor. Social media became a minefield of criticism, memes, and think pieces about loyalty and integrity. His follower count dropped by hundreds of thousands in days. Comment sections on his posts became so toxic that he had to disable them entirely. And still, he said nothing. No apology tour. No carefully crafted statement from a publicist. Just silence and the occasional paparazzi photo with his new girlfriend, which only made things worse. It was as if he had decided that weathering the storm quietly was better than trying to explain the unexplainable. His ex, meanwhile, handled it with a grace that made people love her even more. She didn't trash him publicly, didn't do tell-all interviews or leak private messages. She simply moved on, focusing on work, surrounding herself with friends, and slowly rebuilding a life that didn't revolve around being half of a famous couple. Her dignity in the face of such public humiliation earned her respect and new opportunities that ironically surpassed what she might have gotten by staying with Baris. But the story doesn't end there, because the decision Baris made had consequences that kept rippling outward in unexpected ways. His relationship with the new actress, the one that cost him so much, started showing cracks within a year. Reports surfaced of arguments, of her frustration with being constantly compared to his ex, of him struggling with the realization that what he thought he wanted wasn't actually making him happy. They tried to make it work, posting photos that seemed more like proof of concept than genuine moments, but anyone paying attention could see it was performative. Then came the interview that changed everything. Almost 2 years after the initial scandal, Baris finally spoke. He sat down with a respected journalist and for the first time addressed what he called the biggest mistake of his life. He didn't make excuses. Didn't blame anyone else. He owned it. Admitted that he had been selfish, confused, caught up in the excitement of something new without considering the damage he would cause. He talked about therapy, about understanding patterns in his behavior, about the work he was doing